Is the White House the most protected building on earth? The White House, in which the President of the United States resides, is one of the most secure structures in the world. The first line of defense for the White House is a very robust iron fence that provides the White House with excellent perimeter protection. The White House is listed as one of the most secure places on the planet, which means that they probably are using all kinds of AI that you don't know about. To pay attention now, they don't announce all the ways that they're doing security. At least if they're being smart about it, they're not going to tell you every single thing that they're doing to spy on you, right? We know these things, right? We'll find out about these things, 70 years from now when the CIA finally releases the data. So this idea that somehow one of the most secure buildings on the planet, if not the most secure building on the planet, this idea that somehow they just sort of bumbled it and had no idea, who might possibly have brought this white powdery substance into the White House is absolutely ridiculous. It's almost a joke. And what's crazy is that the joke is going to work because a lot of Americans are just not that smart. It's going to work because a lot of people in this country don't ask hard questions. It's going to work because a lot of people just think for themselves. They just say, "Oh, okay. Oh, well, you said it's okay, then it must be okay," right? And I don't talk to people like that. I don't know how to relate to that. I need you to be smarter and more aware. And I'm looking at this article. They said 6 known security measures for the White House. Let me see here. Oh, if you have to give a 21-day advance notice. To even come to the White House. In order to be given a tour of the highest office in the land, you must submit an application at least 21 days before your scheduled visit. So you can't tell me that they don't know who was up in there. Right? You have to submit something 21 days in advance. And the reason I know this is true is because Russell Simmons called me one time and told me that he had trouble getting in the White House when he and I were campaigning with the Obama administration to get them to change the incarceration policies for the Black community. We were trying to get him to just sort of shift the direction. So we stopped locking people up for 1,000 years and harming Black and brown communities with this nonsense. And at that time, the Obama administration was not happy. And Russell could not get into the White House. And he told me that he reached out to Valerie Jarrett and that Valerie basically wouldn't let him. It was him and Kimora and that guy that she married. They all hung together. Let me just say this: if my wife ever divorced me, I ain't gonna be hanging out with her and her ex-husband. That ain't how I roll. But then again, though, Russell's that kind of guy. He's a nice guy, and I can see him doing it. He's all into Zen and Buddha and everything, which actually, by the way, makes you into a better person. And he is a very good human being to work with. Anyway, I remember him telling me that they would not let him in the White House, at least according to Russell, based on our conversation. He said they won't even let me in because they're so mad about this letter that you wrote that we all signed. Because remember, on this letter, all the celebrities signed it, all the way from Justin Bieber to Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. A lot of people signed this letter that I wrote to the White House, and the Obamas were pissed. They were so livid because they were not used to Black people asking for things. They weren't used to Black people standing up for themselves. They weren't used to Black people expecting a return on their investment in this president. And I said, look, it's nothing personal. It's nothing against you, Mr. Obama. I think that you're a great guy. I like this guy. He's so smart. But I said, man, we need you to do your job, brother. We can't have you up in here, falling for the okie doke with your little advisors telling you that you can ignore your community. You know better, and I know better, and I think Michelle knows better too. In fact, I bet Michelle probably watches this podcast. She's probably don't tell nobody. So anyway, shout out to you, Michelle Obama. I love you too. All right. So anyway, let me keep reading here. Bulletproof windows. What else do they have here? They have infrared sensors. Listen to this. Every inch of the perimeter of the White House is surrounded in infrared lasers that detect even the most minuscule threat against the White House. These aren't the lasers that you see in old spy films that challenge intruders to a deadly game of limbo. No, these blanket everything to include the sky, the surface, and even underground. Did y'all hear what I just said? Did y'all hear what I said? This is how secure the White House is. This is how deep they roll. They some gangsters. They're the biggest gangsters on earth. This is how deep these gangsters roll. So you're going to tell me that this White House that literally has security measures that we have never seen anywhere else on the planet has no idea who brought the mysterious white powdery substance into the White House that could have been a bomb. It could have been anthrax. And you have no idea who did it. Do y'all believe that? Y'all think that's